Solar flare. Great pictures from NASA we want to show you here before we get to Andrew Fazekas. They are no threat to anyone on Earth because we're told they're deflected by our planet's magnetic field. They can cause interference with GPS and communication signals, however. NASA says it captured these images last Wednesday. Well, today, for more on this, we're joined by Andrew Fazekas, astronomy columnist with National Geographic and the Director of Communications with the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada. Andrew, great to see you, my friend. Tell us more about this solar flare.
Right. So NASA has these assets in space, these satellites that basically watch the sun 24/7. So we've got a view of our closest star like never before. So we get to see really intricate things that happen, activities on the sun, like these solar flares. And when these solar flares go off, they're huge. They're basically explosions on the sun that set off giant clouds of charged particles. And if Earth happens to be in the crosshairs of one of these oncoming clouds, then our magnetic field gets buffeted, and sometimes we get beautiful northern lights or aurora borealis happen in the upper atmosphere. That's when we get those beautiful color shows. In this case, our magnetic field was able to get that glancing glow only, so we're not expecting anything except in very high altitudes in the Arctic only. But the sun is very active. It's at its peak in an 11-year cycle. So there's going to be more of this solar flares bellowing off the sun in the coming weeks and months.
And more great pictures from NASA. Well, the situation, speaking of NASA, the situation in Ukraine, we're told, Andrew, is affecting events hundreds of kilometers overhead in space.
Yeah, definitely. The tension is rising amongst between the U.S. and Russia, and this has now spilled over into space, into the collaborative efforts between the two countries. Now, NASA has sent out an official statement. They're not really elaborating too much on it this week, but they basically says that they want to sever direct ties between the Russian Space Agency and NASA. And this involves all teleconferences, video conferences, emails, direct meetings, visits between the two nations, but it excludes the space station specifically. And that's very important, and they say that all operational activities on the space station should not be affected.
Well, that's good to know. Finally, with a minute left, scientists have found a body of water on one of Saturn's moons. And Andrew, how significant is that discovery? Does it change our understanding in some way of the universe?
Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic discovery, because we're talking about a moon around Saturn, which sits about 1.2 billion kilometers away from the Earth, and this little moon that's only about 500 kilometers across is covered with a thick layer of ice. But now Cassini spacecraft that's whirling around the Saturn system has found direct evidence of water underneath this layer of ice. It's about 10 kilometers thick, this layer of ice, but underneath there is an ocean that's 6 kilometers deep, and we think this is one of the habitable areas, environments in the solar system potentially for life to exist. It's one of the few, and it's going to be one of the hot spots for us to look in the near future with spacecrafts.
Andrew Fazekas, astronomy columnist with National Geographic and the Director of Communications with the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada. Andrew, always fascinating to speak with you.